So I'm going to be presenting on MIGS today, and I think it's kind of interesting that as a cataract, refractive, and corneal surgeon that I'm going to be talking about glaucoma, and I think it talks about the breadth and length and the significance of MIGS from a cataract surgeon's perspective. So I consult with a variety of different companies that are involved in this space, Aquisys and Glaukos, and you all know now that there are three mechanisms of actions of MIGS. There's a subconjunctival space similar to trabeculectomy. There's a canal which goes through to the TM, and then there's suprachoroidal space. But what I really want to talk about today is what the market opportunity and where we're going with MIGS. And to understand that, I think you have to understand the difference between a glaucoma and a refractive cataract surgeon, which is where I really belong. The glaucoma surgeon really worries about IOP. I really worry about safety. That's really what I'm worried about. The goal for the glaucoma surgeon is to prevent blindness, and the goal for the cataract surgeon is quality of life. Glaucoma surgeons enjoy complications, and we hate complications, and patients are becoming more and more intolerant of complications, and that intolerance is going to translate into more MIGS use because of the safety of the MIGS profile, low surgical volume versus high surgical volume, and finally, the glaucoma patient surgeon is seeing end-stage glaucoma where I see ocular hypertension, minimal visual field loss, maybe on one or two medications. So to determine the success of a glaucoma procedure, you have to look at the safety and efficacy and economics. If all these align, the procedure is going to be successful. And as a refractive cataract surgeon, I follow the Hippocratic Oath, and that is first do no harm. And that's something that's resonating with me and my colleagues, but it's also resonating with patients as well. The safety of MIGS is what separates it from other surgeries. Now, from a glaucoma perspective, this is what a trabeculectomy and a tube shunt looks like. And these are very effective procedures, and I thank God for my colleagues in glaucoma who do these procedures, but this is not for me. I don't tolerate patients having complication rates that may exceed 50%. This is the iStent clinical trials that looked at safety and basically showed that there was no difference between an iStent and a cataract surgery alone. And looking at the Glaukos data of safety profile, it's less than 1 in 500 complications. This is a very, very reasonable safety concern. But the concern with MIGS has never been safety, it's always been efficacy. And when you looked at the first real trials that took place, you saw, well, there was efficacy here, but it wasn't the dynamic efficacy that you would look for. What you're seeing here, however, is the first trial with glaucoma surgeons who had never put in a iStent before, and you have to remember, these are glaucoma surgeons and not that skilled. They're putting in these iStents, and they're only putting in one. So the learning curve is significant. They'll get even with me later on for that. My real-world experience, however, is much better. And this is some of the data. I went to our meeting with a group of us, the MIGS study group, and this is presented by Jay Katz here at this meeting, showing a very nice lowering of pressure that lasts for at least 18 months that you see here. And most importantly, you see that one iStent is very good, but adding a second one or a third one becomes even better. So that I think that MIGS are going to be a more than one stent procedure. If you want to look for extraordinary efficacy, however, you look at the XEN procedure, which really is similar to a trabeculectomy in efficacy, and you see pressure lowering at 12 months of 44% and patients going from 3 medications to 1 medication. This is extraordinary results. The traditional glaucoma surgical profile is MIGS or mild to moderate disease, low risk. Tube shunts and trabs are more advanced disease, lower IOP, but this is all blurring today, and all of these old considerations are now going away, and there's a changing glaucoma surgery profile now, and that is patients and doctors are becoming more conservative and taking less risk. Patients want low-risk procedures. So glaucoma is becoming a staged procedure. Even patients with moderate to severe glaucoma are having MIGS placed first because of the safety. If the MIGS aren't sufficient, you can always go on to additional surgery later on because MIGS do not impact on the anatomy for future glaucoma surgery. And now traditional glaucoma surgery is only reserved for the most severe candidates. And most glaucoma surgeons who were initially very conservative, maybe reactionary, to the idea of MIGS are now embracing that, and when you see the glaucoma community coming on board with the cataract surgeons, it's the perfect storm for success. I'm going to ask Mark Rosenberg to talk about the economics, but just looking at the opportunity, 1 in 5 patients have ocular hypertension or glaucoma. As our society ages, more and more patients are going to have glaucoma. The opportunity is there. And stents, MIGS, are certainly cost effective. The cost to society, the cost to Medicare for glaucoma medications is significant, and putting in a MIGS device will reduce that. The economic analysis for the surgeon benefits the surgeon with an added revenue of $500, and the surgical center also has an improvement in revenue with the surgery as well. MIGS are gaining traction. As you can see, these are the numbers from Glaucoma, which is the FDA-approved device we have available today, showing gaining acceptance. So my prediction is that MIGS use will increase for a variety of very important reasons. Insurance approval will go past glaucoma to ocular hypertension. Multiple MIGS devices will be used so that it would not be unreasonable to consider every patient having maybe 2 trabeculomeshwork bypasses, 1 suprachoroidal, maybe going on to have something like a XEN procedure as well, so that every patient will have more than 1 procedure. It will expand beyond cataract surgery, so it will be used for primary glaucoma. Patient demand will increase, ease of use will improve, and physician reimbursement will occur as well. If we can show that video on the right as well. I just want to show you, the eye stent is a procedure that most cataract surgeons can do, but there is some technical accuracy involved with this, and there's a learning curve. The learning curve is more significant than I thought, and you can see the procedure going in here and finding the right plane and placing the stent. On the other hand, placing the eye stent inject is like putting a rivet in. It goes right in, and there's very little expertise involved with this, to be quite blunt, and it's something that every cataract surgeon will do. Finally, trabeculectomy as we know it today on the left is a procedure that is dated, and this is something I would absolutely personally never consider doing. I haven't done one of these in 30 years. Show the video on the right, please. On the other hand, the XEN procedure, if we just show that video on the right, we can come back to it, is a procedure that is nicely performed. It's something that I think every cataract surgeon can be comfortable performing, and something that I think will certainly replace every trabeculectomy that's done in the United States, and certainly give us the opportunity to treat some of the earlier stages of glaucoma where trabeculectomy might be highly risky. You can do this procedure and feel very comfortable that you're doing the right procedure for the patient with extremely low risk. And this is a real-time procedure showing the stent being placed in through the ab-internal, just going subconjunctivally, and then removed, and that's the entire procedure. The procedure on your left has a 50% morbidity associated with it over the course of the 2 years. The procedure on the right is extremely much safer and something I think that can be embraced by most cataract surgeons. Finally, I conclude that cataract and refractive surgery is moving on, and maybe we should add glaucoma to cataract and refractive surgery. This is my editorial from about a year ago, stating that the common ground of refractive surgery and cataract surgery is rapid visual rehabilitation, technology-driven precision, safety, elegance, and efficacy, and we're in the midst of welcoming a newcomer into cataract and refractive surgery, and that is MIGS procedures. MIGS improves quality of life, it reduces or eliminates the need for medicines, it's safe, it's efficacious. Most importantly, it's being embraced by glaucoma surgeons, cataract surgeons, but even more importantly, it's being embraced by patients who are given the option. Patients will always take the MIGS opportunity, and I think it's cost effective for surgeons, surgery centers, and patients. Thank you very much.